Tom Miller was about to finish another boring night shift at NASA's Deep Space Monitoring Station when his computer screen lit up with strange patterns he had never seen before. At first, he thought it was just another space debris signal, the kind that kept them busy tracking junk left behind by old satellites. But this was different. The signal pulsed with a regular pattern that couldn't be natural. Tom sat up straight in his chair, his coffee forgotten. He ran the signal through every analysis program they had, but none could make sense of it. After 20 years of listening to space, this was the first time he had seen anything like it. "Hey, Bill," he called to his supervisor, who was dozing in the break room. "You might want to see this." Bill Walker stumbled over, rubbing his eyes. One look at the screen woke him up completely. "What in the world is that?" "Not from our world, I think," Tom said quietly. "The signal's coming from just beyond Pluto's orbit. It's too regular to be natural, too complex to be one of ours." Bill grabbed the phone and started making calls. Within an hour, the quiet monitoring station was buzzing with activity. Scientists and officials poured in, their faces a mix of excitement and worry, as they studied the mysterious signal. Dr. Mary White, their best codebreaker, worked through the night trying to understand the pattern. As the sun rose over the desert facility, she finally cracked it. The room fell silent as she played the decoded message. It wasn't in any human language, but the computer translated the mathematical patterns into something they could understand. The message was simple but shocking. "To any civilization receiving this, we are stranded. Our fleet carries 1.2 million refugees. Life support systems failing. Cannot restart engines. Radiation damage severe. Please help." The message repeated over and over, like a lighthouse beam sweeping through the darkness of space. Tom's hands shook as he helped process more of the signal data. The aliens had included technical specifications of their fleet. 300 massive ships, each bigger than anything humans had ever built, all dead in space just past the edge of their solar system. Within hours, the president called an emergency meeting. Leaders from every major nation joined through secure video links. Tom found himself in a room with people he had only seen on TV, trying to explain what they had found. "The signal is genuine," he told them, his voice steady despite his nerves. "These ships are real, and they're close enough that we could reach them with our current technology. They're asking for help, and from what we can tell, they're running out of time." Arguments broke out immediately. Some leaders wanted to ignore the call, saying it could be a trap. Others saw it as humanity's greatest opportunity. The Chinese premier pointed out that helping them could give Earth access to advanced alien technology. The Russian president worried about the military implications of advanced aliens near Earth. Through it all, Tom kept thinking about the simple desperation in that message. Somewhere out there, over 1 million beings were waiting in the dark, hoping someone would answer their call. The debate raged for hours until the German chancellor spoke up. "If this were a human ship in trouble, we wouldn't hesitate to help. Are we going to prove ourselves less civilized now that we have the chance to help beings from another world?" Her words changed the tone of the meeting. One by one, the leaders agreed. Humanity would answer the call. As Tom left the meeting, he looked up at the stars just becoming visible in the evening sky. Somewhere up there, an alien fleet was waiting. He thought about all the science fiction stories he had read, where humans were always the ones needing help from advanced aliens. Now, somehow, the roles were reversed. The adventure was just beginning, and Earth would never be the same. The research vessel Horizon floated through the darkness of space, carrying humanity's hopes with it. Captain Lisa Reed stood on the bridge, watching as the ship's sensors picked up the first clear images of the alien fleet. Her crew gasped as the pictures appeared on the main screen. The alien ships were beautiful. They looked like giant silver leaves, each one 5 miles long, glowing with a soft blue light. 300 of them hung motionless in space, arranged in a pattern that reminded Lisa of a snowflake. "Record everything," she ordered. "This is history in the making." Tom Miller, who had first received their distress call, sat at the communications station. He had fought hard to be included in this mission, and now he was about to help make humanity's first contact with alien life. "Sending our greeting message now," he said, pressing the button that would transmit Earth's carefully prepared response. They had kept it simple: pictures showing humans, Earth, and their peaceful intentions, along with mathematical formulas to show they were intelligent. The response came faster than they expected. The main screen lit up with an image of the aliens. They looked almost like tall, thin humans made of glass, with light flowing through their bodies. But it was their expressions of surprise that caught everyone's attention. "Your species can survive in such radiation?" the alien message asked. "Impossible." Lisa looked at her radiation badge. It showed normal background levels that humans dealt with every day in space. "Tell them yes, this is normal for us," she said to Tom. More messages flew back and forth. The aliens called themselves the Wayfarers, and they were shocked by every new thing they learned about humans. They had thought Earth was too radioactive for intelligent life. Now they were meeting humans who could walk around in radiation levels that would kill a wayfarer in minutes. "That's why our engines failed," they explained. "We passed through a radiation field that our ships weren't built to handle. Now the radiation has damaged crucial parts of our engines, and we can't get close enough to fix them." The Wayfarers' technology was far more advanced than anything on Earth, but it was all designed for beings who could barely handle any radiation. They had amazing quantum engines but couldn't fix them because the engine rooms were now too radioactive for them to enter. "We can help with that," Lisa said when she understood the problem. "Humans have been working with radiation for over 100 years. We have special suits and tools for exactly this kind of work." The aliens were quiet for a long time after hearing this. Finally, their leader spoke again. "We did not expect to find salvation in a species we thought was primitive. We have been watching your world for years, seeing your wars, your pollution, your simple spacecraft. We thought you were too young to help us." Lisa smiled. "Sometimes the simplest solutions are the best ones. Our spacecraft might not be as advanced as yours, but we built them to be tough, and we built them so we could fix them ourselves." She looked at her crew, seeing the pride on their faces. "We may not have quantum engines, but we have thousands of trained radiation workers who would be happy to help you. Sometimes being primitive, as you say, has its advantages." The alien leader's glowing body pulsed with new colors. "Perhaps we have much to learn from each other. We'd never imagined that the very thing that made us see your world as dangerous would be the key to our rescue." As the horizon moved closer to dock with the alien fleet, Lisa watched her crew prepare for the enormous task ahead. They had trained for many things before this mission, but nothing could have prepared them for becoming the heroes of an advanced alien civilization. "Send word back to Earth," she told Tom. "Tell them we're going to need every radiation worker and engineer we can get. And tell them to hurry. We've got over 1 million people to save." The adventure was no longer just beginning. Now it was about to get interesting. Dr. James Cooper had spent 20 years working with nuclear reactors, but nothing had prepared him for this. He stood in his radiation suit, staring at the alien engine that filled the massive room. It looked like a giant crystal ball surrounded by rings of light, now dim and lifeless. "The radiation damaged the quantum crystals," he explained to the alien engineer, who watched from behind thick shielding. "But I think we can fix them using techniques from our nuclear submarines." The alien, whose glowing body flickered with doubt, responded through the translator. "But these are quantum engines. They are far more complex than your nuclear technology." James smiled inside his suit. "Sometimes the simplest solutions work best. We've been fixing radioactive equipment since the 1940s. Trust me." More human engineers and radiation workers arrived every day. Ships from every country on Earth brought specialists and equipment. They set up a repair base on one of the larger alien vessels, using their radiation suits to work in areas the Wayfarers couldn't even approach. The aliens watched in amazement as humans walked through radiation levels that would kill a wayfarer instantly. They were even more surprised when James and his team started taking apart their precious quantum engines using tools from Earth. "Be careful with that crystal," one alien warned as James removed a damaged component. "It costs more than your entire space program." "Don't worry," James replied, carefully placing the crystal in a special container. "We've handled things just as delicate in our nuclear plants. Besides, we can't break it any worse than it already is." The human workers developed new tools, combining Earth's radiation handling experience with the aliens' advanced technology. They worked in shifts, each person allowed only a few hours in the high radiation areas before they had to switch out. Tom Miller, who had stayed to help with communications, watched the repair efforts with pride. The aliens had expected to find primitive beings barely able to understand their technology. Instead, they found humans climbing all over their engines, fixing things the wayfarers themselves couldn't touch. "Your people are extraordinary," the alien leader told Tom one day. "We have visited 1,000 worlds, but we've never seen beings who could do what you do." The breakthrough came 3 weeks into the repairs. James and his team had modified an old technique used for fixing nuclear submarine reactors. They created a special coating that could protect the quantum crystals from radiation while still allowing them to function. "It's not pretty," James admitted as he showed the aliens their solution. "But it should work. We use similar shielding in our nuclear plants." The aliens watched nervously as the humans reassembled the first engine. James triple-checked every connection, making sure everything was perfect. Finally, it was time to test their work. "Starting power-up sequence," James announced. Everyone held their breath as the engine hummed to life. The crystal began to glow, its light growing stronger and stronger. The rings around it started spinning, creating beautiful patterns in the air. The aliens' bodies lit up with joy as their instruments showed the engine working perfectly. The radiation shielding had worked. Their precious quantum technology was protected and functioning again. "This is just the first engine," James reminded everyone as his team celebrated. "We've got 299 more to fix, but now we know we can do it." The alien leader's body glowed with all the colors of the rainbow. "When we sent our distress call, we hoped to find help. Instead, we found heroes. Your simple solutions have succeeded where our advanced technology failed." James just shrugged, already planning the next repair. "That's the thing about humans," he said. "We might not be the most advanced species out there, but give us a problem we can get our hands on, and we'll find a way to fix it." The real work was just beginning, but now they knew humanity was equal to the task. Sometimes being able to do things the hard way was better than having advanced technology that could break. The warning alarms echoed through the alien fleet. Captain Lisa Reed rushed to the main control room, where Tom Miller was talking with the wayfarer leaders. Their glowing bodies were pulsing with red light, a sign of extreme worry. "The life support systems are failing faster than we expected," the alien leader said, his voice translated through the computer. "We have less than 2 weeks before they stop working completely." Lisa looked at the status displays. They had fixed 30 engines so far, but there were still 270 ships to go. At their current speed, it would take months to repair them all. "We need more help," she said, turning to Tom. "Call Earth. Tell them we need every radiation worker they can find. Tell them it's now or never." Earth's response was immediate. Within hours, ships were launching from every space center on the planet. Nuclear submarine crews, power plant workers, radiation cleanup specialists. Anyone who knew how to work in high radiation areas was volunteering for the mission. Dr. James Cooper organized the new workers into teams, teaching them how to repair the alien engines. "This is just like working in a reactor," he told them. "Except the reactor is made of crystals and runs on quantum energy." The aliens watched in amazement as more and more humans arrived. They had never seen beings so willing to work in radiation that their own people considered lethal. One alien engineer, watching the humans work, asked Tom about it. "Why do you do this?" The alien asked. "Why risk your lives for beings you've never met?" Tom thought about it while watching the workers in their radiation suits move carefully through the engine rooms. "Because it's the right thing to do," he said simply. "And because humans have always been good at helping each other in emergencies." He told the alien about Earth's history of rescue missions, how sailors would brave storms to save stranded ships, how miners would dig for days to rescue trapped workers, how people would form long chains of volunteers during disasters. "This is just what we do," Tom explained. "It's bigger than anything we've done before, but the idea is the same. When someone needs help, you help." The work continued around the clock. Teams worked in shifts, carefully following radiation exposure limits. Each person could only work for a few hours before they had to rest, but there were always more volunteers ready to take their place. Lisa coordinated the massive operation from the command center. She watched as the number of repaired ships slowly grew. 40 ships fixed, then 50, then 60. But time was running out. The life support systems on the outer ships are starting to fail. An alien reported one day, "We need to evacuate those ships and move everyone to the central vessels." Moving thousands of aliens through space was dangerous, but they had no choice. Human ships helped ferry the wayfarers between vessels, their crews working extra hours to save as many as possible. During the evacuation, Lisa noticed something interesting. The aliens were starting to trust humans more and more. At first, they had been nervous about letting primitive beings handle their advanced technology. Now they were putting their lives in human hands without hesitation. "We were wrong about your people," the alien leader told Lisa as they watched another evacuation ship dock safely. "We thought advanced technology was what mattered most. But it's not the technology that makes a species great, it's what they do with it." Lisa looked at the status display. They had 10 days left before the life support systems failed completely. They had fixed almost 100 ships now, but it still wasn't enough. They needed to work faster. "Send word to all teams," she ordered. "Tell them we're running out of time. Tell them this is the final push. Everything we've got, everything we can give. We need it now." The race against time was reaching its critical point. The next few days would determine whether this would be humanity's greatest triumph or its greatest failure. Dr. James Cooper stared at the failed repair attempt on the alien engine, his mind racing. The traditional method they'd been using was too slow. With only 9 days left before life support systems failed completely, they needed something faster. He watched as another repair team carefully removed damaged crystals from an engine, following the aliens' precise instructions. Every step had to be perfect, they'd been told. Any deviation from the proper procedure would destroy the delicate quantum machinery. Then James remembered something from his early days working on nuclear submarines. Sometimes the proper way wasn't always the best way. "Tom," he called to the communications officer. "I need to talk to the alien engineers. I have an idea they probably won't like." The alien engineers' bodies flickered with alarm as James explained his plan. It went against everything they knew about quantum engineering. It was rough, simple, and by their standards, completely wrong. "Impossible," the lead alien engineer protested. "You cannot repair quantum crystals like they're common machine parts. The energy patterns must be perfectly aligned." "Look," James said, pointing to the engine they'd just failed to fix. "Your way takes 12 hours per engine. We have 200 ships left and 9 days. We need a faster way." The aliens argued among themselves, their bodies flashing different colors as they debated. Finally, the lead engineer turned back to James. "Show us your idea on one engine. If it fails, we return to the proper method." James gathered his best workers and explained his plan. Instead of treating the quantum crystals like delicate jewelry, they would handle them more like reactor parts. It was risky, but they were running out of options. "Remember how we fixed that cracked reactor housing in the Baltimore plant?" he asked his team. We're going to do something similar here." The aliens watched nervously as the humans began working. Instead of carefully disconnecting each crystal, James's team cut through the supporting structure with special tools. Instead of gently lifting out each part, they removed whole sections at once. "This is madness," one alien whispered, but they couldn't argue with the speed. The humans were moving 3 times faster than before. The real test came when they had to reconnect the repaired crystals. The aliens had insisted this needed perfect alignment that took hours to achieve. But James had another idea. The crystals align themselves. He explained as his team worked. "We saw it in the successful repairs. We don't need to align them perfectly. We just need to get them close enough and let them do their job." He showed the aliens how the crystals naturally found their proper positions when powered up, like magnets snapping into place. All the time they'd spent on perfect alignment had been unnecessary. Tom Miller watched from the control room as the engine hummed to life. The quantum crystals glowed brightly, their energy patterns swirling into perfect formation all on their own. The repair had taken just 4 hours instead of 12. The alien engineers were stunned. Their bodies glowed with a mixture of disbelief and excitement as they checked the readings. The engine wasn't just working. It was working better than the ones they'd repaired the proper way. "How did you know this would work?" the lead engineer asked James. "Because sometimes machines know better than we do," James replied. "We learned that with our nuclear reactors. Sometimes you need to trust that the technology can fix itself if you just give it the chance." Captain Lisa Reed quickly approved the new repair method. Teams of workers began using James's technique on other ships, fixing engines 3 times faster than before. For the first time since the crisis began, they had a real chance of saving everyone. "Your people continue to amaze us," the alien leader told Tom as they watched the repair teams work. "You take our most advanced technology and fix it using methods from your nuclear submarines. Perhaps we have become too concerned with doing things the proper way and forgotten how to think creatively." James was already training more teams in the new method. They had 9 days to save 200 ships, and now finally, it looked like they might actually succeed. Sometimes the best solution was the simple one, even for the most advanced technology in the universe. The alarms were different this time. Tom Miller knew something was terribly wrong as soon as he heard them. The alien leader's body flashed deep red with panic as the emergency reports came in. "The main reactor core on the command ship is failing," the leader announced. "If it goes critical, it will destroy half the fleet." Captain Lisa Reed and Dr. James Cooper rushed to the engine room. The radiation levels were higher than anything they'd seen before. Even their best radiation suits could only protect someone for 20 minutes in there. "The quantum containment field is collapsing," an alien engineer explained through the translator. "We need to stabilize it, but the radiation levels are lethal. Even for humans, it's too dangerous." James studied the readings. The solution was clear, but the cost would be high. Someone would have to go into the core chamber and manually realign the quantum matrices. It would take at least 40 minutes, twice as long as anyone could safely stay in that radiation. "I'll do it," Tom said, stepping forward. Everyone turned to look at him. "I'm the one who first heard their call for help. I should be the one to finish this." "Tom." "No," Lisa protested. "The radiation exposure would be extreme. Even if you survive, you'll be sick for months, maybe years." "We have 300,000 refugees on this ship," Tom replied calmly. "If that core goes critical, they all die. I've spent weeks talking with these people, learning their stories. I can't let that happen." The alien leader's body pulsed with a mix of colors they'd never seen before. "You would risk your life, your health, for people not of your world." "That's what humans do," Tom said, already putting on his radiation suit. "We help people who need help. It doesn't matter where they're from." James quickly explained what needed to be done. The process was complex, but Tom had watched enough engine repairs to understand the basics. They fitted him with extra radiation sensors and gave him the special tools they'd developed. 20 minutes, James reminded him. That's all your suit can take. Do what you can and get out. Tom entered the core chamber. The radiation meters on his suit immediately went off the scale. Through his faceplate, he could see the quantum matrices spinning wildly out of alignment, their usual smooth patterns broken and chaotic. Working as fast as he could, Tom began the realignment process. His hands moved steadily despite the knowledge that every minute exposed him to more radiation. The aliens watched through cameras, their bodies glowing with worry as the minutes ticked by. 20 minutes passed, then 25. Tom's suit sensors were screaming warnings, but he kept working. Almost there, he reported, his voice steady despite the danger. Just need to lock the last sequence in place. 30 minutes. 35. The aliens' instruments showed the core beginning to stabilize, but Tom's radiation exposure was far beyond safe levels. Finally, at 38 minutes, he called out, "It's done. The matrices are locked in place. Core is stabilizing." Tom managed to walk out of the chamber on his own, but collapsed as soon as they got him to the medical bay. The alien doctors worked alongside human medical teams, using their advanced technology to treat the radiation exposure. Hours later, Tom woke up to find the alien leader watching over him. The leader's body glowed with a soft, gentle light they'd never seen before. "We have searched the galaxy for advanced civilizations," the leader said quietly. "We looked for quantum technology, for space-bending engines, for impossible machines, but we never thought to look for simple courage, for beings willing to risk everything to help others." Tom managed a weak smile. "That's the thing about humans. Our technology might not be the most advanced, but our hearts are in the right place." The crisis was over, but it had taught both species something important. Sometimes the measure of an advanced civilization wasn't in its technology, but in its willingness to help others, no matter the cost. 3 months had passed since the first distress call. Tom Miller stood at the observation window of the horizon, watching as the last of the alien ships tested its repaired engines. The quantum drives hummed to life, surrounding each ship with a beautiful blue glow that lit up space like a field of stars. He was still recovering from his radiation exposure, but the aliens' advanced medical technology had helped him heal faster than anyone expected. The doctors said he would make a full recovery, though his hair might stay white forever, a small price to pay for saving 300,000 lives. Captain Lisa Reed joined him at the window. "The last engine test was successful," she reported. "All 300 ships are ready to fly again." The alien fleet had been arranged in a massive circle, preparing for their departure. But this wasn't going to be a simple goodbye. The events of the past 3 months had changed both species forever. Dr. James Cooper entered the observation room, carrying a strange device that glowed with quantum energy. "The Wayfarers just gave us their first gift," he said, setting it down carefully. "It's a quantum communication system. We'll be able to talk to their home worlds instantly, no matter how far away they are." The alien leader appeared on the main screen, its body glowing with all the colors of the rainbow. "We came to your solar system as refugees in need of help," the leader said. "We leave as friends who have learned a valuable lesson about what truly makes a civilization advanced." The leader explained that the Wayfarer Council had voted unanimously to offer Earth membership in their interstellar alliance. It was the fastest such decision in their history. "Your people have shown us that true advancement isn't just about technology," the leader continued. "It's about courage, creativity, and the willingness to help others even at great personal risk. These are the qualities that make a civilization truly great." The alliance would bring huge changes to Earth. The Wayfarers would share their technology, but they also wanted to learn from humans. They were particularly interested in Earth's radiation handling techniques and the human ability to solve problems in unexpected ways. "We're establishing a joint space exploration program," Lisa announced to her crew. "Human radiation workers will team up with Wayfarer quantum engineers. They'll explore parts of space that neither species could reach alone." Tom thought about how it had all started, with a simple distress call that he picked up on a quiet night shift. Now humanity was taking its first steps into a much larger universe. "There's something else," James added, smiling. "The Wayfarers are redesigning their ships. They're adding radiation-shielded repair corridors and backup systems that can be fixed manually. They're calling it the human touch." The alien fleet prepared to depart, but they weren't all leaving. 20 ships would stay behind to establish the first alien embassy on Earth and help humanity begin its journey into interstellar civilization. "We came here thinking we were far more advanced than you," the alien leader told Tom during their final meeting. "We thought our quantum engines and energy matrices made us superior, but you showed us that advancement isn't just about having complex technology. Sometimes it's about having the heart to help others and the creativity to solve problems in simple ways." Tom watched as the fleet began to power up their engines. The ships looked different now, their once perfect surfaces marked with human-style repair panels and access hatches. They were better ships now, more practical, more fixable, more resilient, just like the partnership between the two species. "Safe travels," Tom said as the fleet prepared to jump into quantum space. "And remember, if you ever need help again, Earth will answer." The alien leader's body glowed with warm, friendly colors. "We know you will, friends. We know you will." The fleet disappeared in a flash of quantum energy, leaving behind a changed solar system and a humanity that had proven itself ready to join the galactic community. Not because of advanced technology or powerful weapons, but because when strangers needed help, humans had answered the call. Sometimes the simplest qualities were the most valuable of all.